Hello and welcome back to Always Creative Design and the second episode of the single engine modified tractor build. In the last episode we got started. It ran okay, shot some stuff at the exhaust, but there's a fueling issue with the front side of the carburetor flooding. That has to get fixed. And then some other things that have to happen in this episode are we have to mount some weights, hopefully fix the fuel. We have to mount the solenoid wire because it's jankily attached, remount the dash somewhere where I can reach it when I'm sitting, because right now if I'm strapped in I can't reach any of the controls, so that's an issue. I have to design a new battery tray. The one that was in here was just overkill and I just couldn't leave it in there. It's just too heavy. Some drive shaft safety things, and then again Lexan over the batteries just so that when the batteries are in there, you're not dropping things on the posts and stuff all the time. And then there's some pins that have to be put in the roll cage, and and then I have to remount the rear kill switch on the back of the tractor because it was mounted on the cage before, and that just makes it a little difficult to take the cage off because you have to take that off, of course, first and then take the cage off. So just some things to make maintenancing the tractor a little easier since this does not fit in here with the cage on. So we'll get up to that, and see in a minute when we work on the solenoid wire first. Okay, so as you can see, this is a little jankily done right here. This is just being sandwiched between this plate. So I'm just going to go ahead and drill another hole just over here. That way I can turn that mounted properly. So now that that's done, the next easiest thing to do is, I guess I want to do the battery tray because everything has to be taken out to do the battery tray. So I'll do the battery tray next. So I'm back. I got the batteries out. I just put this bar in here for kind of ideas for mock-up. But this plate, this right here, it's about, I don't know, not quite 1/4 inch, but it's pretty thick and it weighs a ton. So pretty sure I'm going to cut it out because it's not part of the supporting structure of the frame. That's this piece right here. Again, these braces, oops, I'm pointing to, that brace there and that brace there. I need those, both for rules and for just safety in general. But that's on a giant, thick, that is like 1/4 inch angle or something. So that's necessary. So I'm going to see if I can kind of tie into this piece right here, and then put a piece of angle somehow across over here, and then put the batteries in between. Maybe put a piece of Lexan on the bottom just to help support the center of the batteries. And then, yeah, so I think I'm just going to get a few pieces of angle, stick them in here, and then I will, stick the batteries in here. Just see how everything looks and if I have the material to do this or not. Okay, so this is the idea that I've kind of come up with. It's similar to the other one except just way less weight. So, or the one that was in there, it's just way lighter. And I'm going to turn the batteries the other way, so that way I don't need to have a solid steel plate along the bottom. So this aluminum bar is going to get notched out here so that I can go underneath the frame, and then I'll just make it like a nice transition, kind of curve up and over, so that way it does not crack. And then I use a big washer on the bottom side to keep it strength. And then, so that's what of course this side of the battery will hang on. And then in the tractor, like I said, there's that big piece of angle iron that's like a structural piece of the chassis. So these batteries will sit on there, and then I'll just use maybe like a little piece of the aluminum, because this will already be cut short, so I might as well keep using it up for this project. And put just a little stop on this side of the batteries over here, right, to stop them from sliding this way. And once we do that, then it can only slide this way, forward and backwards from our perspective right here. So that I'll have to figure out near the end, but I'm thinking I can just put like a piece of plexiglass maybe like along the bottom and just make it a little bit like extra long, and then put a hole in there in the top or in the bottom, and then I already had threaded rod that was used similarly before, so put that up and then put a bar across the top, and the same thing on the other side, so that way they can't jump up or down or wiggle anywhere. And this should be a lot lighter than what was in there, and the one that was in there, the tray was actually too big, so the batteries could like potentially move around, so they were like clamped super tight on top, and there's no need for that. So we just make the tray the proper size, and they won't move around, and nothing will come loose, and it'll all be lighter and better than before. So that's what's happening next. So on the chassis side of things, this plate right here, this one that has it's quite thick. It's of course welded in there, and that's the plate that I'm going to get rid of. So it's welded along that line on that side of the chassis, and of course the same on this side. It seems to only be welded there, so I'm just going to take the grinder, give that a notch, then hopefully it comes loose fairly easily, and then I can put my aluminum bars and everything in, and then like I was saying, the batteries will sit on this bar on this side. I have to measure between this strut and that strut to make sure the batteries both fit, because if they don't, that might be an issue. Okay, so I'm just gonna measure here. The lip, there's a bit of lip on these, but not on the back side, so here it gives us like 13 and a half would be extremely tight, so 13 3/4. So it's a little bit of wiggle room to get stuff in and out. Not even 13. Wow. It puts a little chink in your plan, doesn't it? Okay. I think I'm gonna have to put the batteries in here to visualize some stuff again. Well, I just tried the batteries, and they, of course, as measured, do not fit in between. So the only other option is to put two of the struts across, two of the aluminum bars across from the chassis rails, and then have our own little braces that go across connect the two. I think that will be the best. I think it'll still be lighter. It's just if you incorporated the structure that's already there, then Of course, putting one less piece of metal back on, and it'd be even lighter. But yeah, just kind of sucks. That's kind of my plan. Guess I should have measured that at the start. But no matter, we will still get there. Yeah, so before I start grinding and cutting that plate out, I'm going to just kind of get a wire brush and clean stuff so that way I can see what I'm actually doing. So after about 2 hours of grinding, that plate has come out. Looks like came out pretty cleanly. Just gonna take the grinder, clean up the edges. While I'm in here, I'm gonna see if I can chop out some of the little extra pieces that aren't being used anymore, like the one over there and this big tab right here. Take those out, and then I'll start putting the new battery tray in. Okay, so I got the 2 aluminum pieces cut out and notched for the frame. Drilled the holes. Now I need to put them under the frame, mark the holes, drill the holes, put some bolts in it, and then I'll have to put this side support pieces on. So I got the 2 aluminum rails put in, and I drilled and assembled the little brackets, and there'll be a piece of metal that goes across the batteries to hold it down. So that is that, and I will just gotta drill the holes. I have them marked, and I'm just gonna drill them out right now. Okay, now that all those are bolted in and tight, I'll put in the batteries. Route that cable over. Just like that. Oops. Move that cable over again. This battery. Like that. And it can't go anywhere. Look at that. Perfect. Now I just put a bar across the top. And, well, actually, I don't know if I can get that lucky and get the other one to fit, but I'm gonna give it a try. Here's the original bar. and it is too long. Yeah, figured. Sorry, this thing's way overkill. So I'm just going to put, whoops. I'll have to find another piece or cut this. I don't want to cut this. This thing's tank. Man, everything's good. Yeah, find something a little lighter and put across there, just so you know they can't technically come up and out. And then on top of that, using the same 2 bolts, I'm gonna put a Lexan shield over top of everything. So just so that you don't drop stuff on top. And that'll be it, but I'm gonna say, count that as big progress, big progress. So with that, the battery tray has been redesigned. So I have a good start on it. Hold down and Lexan is what's Lexan needs to be done next, and the hold down. So that is what we're going to move on to next, and that part should be faster. Well, as you can see, I can't get that bar out because I can't twist it far enough in the frame. And it's kind of, I have to chop that radiator mount anyways. So this may be it's a whole big redo, because that mount for the radiator is big as it is. So I will see if I can come up with a plan of attack here, because yeah, I just don't want to cut that bar. Gosh, bit of a conundrum. So I'll see. I'll come up with an idea in a minute. Yeah, the only foreseeable way to get this bar out is to cut along here, because there's a weld, and then this, and then also along there. That would make this bar able to move and hopefully come out, because it's a bit shorter. But other than that, I mean, once I cut that, I'm trying to think of an easy way to remount the rad that won't take a ton of work, because I don't want to drain all the fluids and everything. I'd rather just make it able to bolt on. This one's tricky. This one's tricky. It's one of those things where, you know, you just gotta cut it all out and restart. It's just... Like I say, once I cut those bars, I was just like, they're the perfect length for the chassis and everything already. It'd be a pain, you know, shame to cut them and be like, oh, we could have used those. Just, you know, recycling a little bit. But I guess we cut them, cut this. I'll see if the our idea of like sliding the weights in here and then across on a bar will work. And if that works, then we'll find a way to attach from this down. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna cut it. I guess I'll pick somewhere in the center, so that way you have the longest piece as possible. And or should I go right at the end? No, I'll go right at the end. Right there, so that way we have space to do things, and then they'll come out. A little bit more persuasion. Wow. Okay. Just gonna get this down now. Yeah. Hopefully we can use that somewhere for weight. That's a big chunk. Oh. That probably weighs 4 or 5 times more, maybe even 6 times more than this angle. So good thing this is for hanging weights. That's gonna go there. Okay, so my piece of angle here and a weight. Just seeing. Where forward this can go. If I go there, I can't have the weights in the front here. So if I back up, fall a little bit down, so it shouldn't hit this. just need to figure out the right amount of space between the front of this angle and here, so that way the weights can slide in front of the bolt head. Because that holds 100 pounds already. So no point in just moving that weight back here. Actually, it's better in front of the bar. It's more leverage, but yeah. Okay, well, next thing to do is to cut a bar like this long enough to fit. Yeah, I guess I'll have to be able to put a nut on inside the channel here, and then bolt it down. Bolting it's easier than welding it, and then makes it all removable if something doesn't work out. And then get the right distance, put it down, bolt it, see if it passes across this, and then I'll have to see if there's any way I can take it out without cutting this. If I can't, then I'll have to cut one side here. Looks like this side's better. I don't know if this isn't quite centered or if it's just the way the rad is, but this side looks a bit better. I'll just chop it. Hopefully the weld should still hold it up. But then I'll see if it seems like it needs support on this side, or if just that side weld is fine. I mean, it's a pretty beefy tube, so I would think you'd be fine, but we'll see. So that's up next. Notch, bolt, see if I can take this out without, physically taking everything off. So that's next. So now that I have this bar cut out to the right length, I'm going to have one of the sides overlapped. The other side's going to go down, and then it's going to be its support in the center. So just visually, I'm going to center it up. Looks decent. Then mark where that notch is supposed to be. Wait a second, which side? Right, this is supposed to be, right, this holds it like that. So this is going to be like this, and then this side notched out so that sits flat on here. So, centered. Give it a little bit extra space. Like that. Across there. And a big X. So that's what it's going to get cut out there. So that's going to cut it there. Then that will sit flat. I'll drill some holes, probably just here. Maybe I'll do the top one on the drill press. And then that will be bolted down. And I'll put it in with the weight on it. Then I'll try and get the weight out. And yeah, we'll see how, if I can or not. I don't think it will be, because of the pretty extreme angle that you need to get the weight on. to get it off. Put it like this, lifting it up. It's stuck. Why is it doing that? So, in the last clip you saw that I had made this piece. It has the cutouts and it went across here. Oh, that didn't work. So then I tried placing it on the bottom here. And that worked, and you could get the weights on, but it was super awkward and I found it difficult even with the lighter weight here. And I think these are like 50 or 50 pounds, these are like 100. So it was hard to get the lightweight on. It's gonna be really hard to get the bigger weight on. And I thought, oh well, then I'll try and cut the side off over here. This brace for the rad, like it was kind of an idea originally. But even, I was just trying to do that with the bar in any position before I cut it, and it felt awkward, and I was just like, it's not gonna work. So now you can see I have a longer piece of angle clamped on, and of course these weights hook on easy. I could make something simple that just bolts on the top here, comes out to the end, and then that would, you know, lock them in place. They couldn't come off. But not all the weights are exactly the same. And this, what is it, 1.5 inch angle will not fit through the cutout of that weight. It's smaller. So the only thing I could do is slice a little strip off of this angle. I mean, it wouldn't do much for difference in strength, I guess. And then it would fit all weights. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're down to now. And this thing really needs to get weights on it, because the amount of weight I took out was probably another 75 pounds of weight that I took off the front with cutting that brace out, and then those two solid steel tubes, or solid square rods. So yeah, this thing needs to get weight on it, and more weight is coming off than being able to go on at the moment. So because of that, I just gave up on this for the moment. And I moved over to the batteries. So I'll just pull you out here. Now, what else was on the list was the battery arm that goes across. So that steel plate goes across and goes through that rod, and it's held on with a nut. And then this leg stand, this is so when you're working on it, you know, if you're working with the wrenches or whatever, you don't drop a wrench and it shorts it out for some crazy reason or whatever. So that's on there now. It's pretty easy to get off. You just undo the nut on this side with the washer, same thing on the side, and then it comes off. I might change those to like wing nuts at some point, but don't have those at the moment, so these will do. Just tighten them up, and of course, as you can see, no wires are going to anything, so I still have to do that. So what else is on the list? What else is on the list? So giving up on the weights for the moment. weights. I can't fix the fuel right now. Obviously, I can't test drive it. The drive shaft. So that piece I cut for the front weights actually fits pretty much perfect for the drive shaft safety brace that goes across to stop the drive shaft from swinging around and hitting the batteries and stuff that needs to go there. So that can just be like cut a little bit and adjusted, and then it can be bolted in. So that's what I think I'm going to do next. And then I guess while I'm doing that, I'll think about the remounting the dashboard in a position, because there's two ways I can go about that. So I gotta make a decision and then just do it. So, but that's what's up next. I'm gonna go to do the drive shaft safety crossbar.